So what happens when there are multiple cash flows over a period of a number of years and not just 1 year? So maybe over 4 years or 5 years or 10 years. That situation is a little bit more complex. It requires us to apply exactly the same principle, but to take into account the fact that the cash flows come in at different times. Let's do the example in Mwalimu Limited. So in our first example, Mwalimu Limited, Tendai has collected the following information regarding an investment in the shares of Mwalimu Limited, a toy company. The amount required for the investment is $40,000, and she has made the estimates in the table below regarding expected returns. Taking inflationary expectations and the risk of the company into account, she has determined that 20% seems to be an appropriate discount rate. Compute the present value of the investment, assuming all cash flows occur as anticipated. All cash flows occur as anticipated. Let me give you a hint. You have to work out the present value of the cash flows for each year and determine how much the cash flows come to in aggregate or in total. Pause and take a few minutes to do this exercise before we carry on. You have to work out the cash flows for each and every single year of this particular project. So what's the solution? In the answer you're looking at, in the first year there was $7,500 worth of cash flows. So the $7,500 in the first year is discounted using the 20% discount rate. After 1 year, that gives us a present value factor of 0.833 according to the tables, which gives us a PV of 6248. The second year had net cash flows of 8,200. That gives us a PV factor of 0.694, giving us a present value of 5691 for the cash flows in the second year. In the third year, there's also 8,200 worth of cash flows, gives you a PV factor of 0.579. That gives you a present value of 4748. In the final year, the combined cash flows, the combined ones, come to 50,300, which gives us a PV factor of 0.482, which gives us a present value of 24245. If we add up all of those present values, it gives us a total of 40,932. What this exercise has shown us is that the present value of this particular investment is 40,932. What this is telling us is that if this investment performs as anticipated, it is worthwhile to do. Its present value is $40,932, and the investment required is $40,000. What this calculation is telling us is that based on the 20% discount rate, this investment is generating a return that exceeds the effect of inflation, the opportunity cost, and the return on capital Tendai would expect to make based on the risks related to making an investment of this nature. Because the present value of the investment is higher than the initial $40,000 invested, after applying the discount rate over the life of the investment, it tells us that it would be financially worthwhile and profitable for Tendai to make this investment.